This is What If Sasuke Was Banished from the Lee Village, Part 11. I hope you guys enjoy. So Sasuke, Tayuya, Ray, and Fu would have ran into Nagato on their way to the main battlefield, where they assume they will find the masked man. Fu recognizes him as the real Pain. Sasuke will set his sights on him bloodlessly, because of what happened last time, which Pain killed him, Ray, and Tayuya. Nagato would tell Sasuke that Itachi told him all about him and tell Sasuke that he means no harm, but before he gets completely controlled by Kabuto, he would tell Sasuke the location of Kabuto and tell him that he's the one controlling all of the reanimations and for Sasuke to go and stop him. After he said that, he becomes completely under the control of Kabuto and will use Shibaku Tensei on Sasuke, pulling him, but Sasuke would not be worried in the slightest. He would activate his Susanoo ribcage and use its one skeletal arm to make a sword, piercing Nagato, and then proceeds to slice him in half. But with ease, since Nagato was actually pulling him towards himself. Nagato would proceed to recover from this and use a three-headed dog summon and an ox summon to keep Sasuke busy for a while. Sasuke will use Amaterasu on both of the summons to deal with them quickly. Nagato then suddenly appears behind Fu, wrapping her in metal wires he created using his Ashura path. Fu will try to break out of this using her version 2 Biju cloak, but then Nagato will absorb all of her chakra using the Parita path. This will cause Nagato to have red tints in his hair, but not fully red. This really signifies that Nagato isn't at his full power, maybe 30 or 40%. Sasuke would come in and slice the Ashura Path's arm and metal wires that were restraining Fu. Well, he would basically free Fu from Nagato's clutches, or hands. Sasuke would tell Ray to stay back since her gentle fist would be rendered useless against an Edo Tensei, but he will need her to seal him, since she's really the only one that can use sealing jutsu. He tells Tayuya to stay back as well since Genjutsu won't work on him. He already tried and it seems like it never affected him, or that the person controlling him would just broke him out of the Genjutsu. He tells Fu that he wants to handle this on his own. If he doesn't, then he can't continue moving forward. Fu would nod at Sasuke. Sasuke will look at Nagato and get ready to fight. Sasuke will start off by activating his Susanoo and making a Masaka Yagatama beads, firing them at Nagato. Nagato will counter with Shinra Tensei, canceling them out. But then Sasuke poofs into a clone and blitzes him from behind. Nagato grabs him with his arm by the neck, holding him, and grows two other arms, planning to shoot missiles at him, but Sasuke cuts off Nagato's arm with a sword and uses Amaterasu on Nagato, making him burn, and then Sasuke will jump back. Nagato, however, will use Shinra Tensei on the Amaterasu flames, kinda just making them disperse off of him. Sasuke sees this as his chance. He notices that Nagato has a 5-second interval before he could use the technique again, so he will activate his Susanoo again, and it's fully armored. Well, not fully armored, but the stage after the skeletal form. Sasuke will proceed to shoot an arrow at Nagato. The arrow goes right through Nagato, piercing his body. Sasuke immediately shoots 2 more arrows, immobilizing Nagato, making him temporarily unable to be controlled by Kabuto or do anything for that matter. Sasuke will tell Ray to hurry up and seal him, which he does, and the fight will be over with. Sasuke tells his group Nazo to Kabuto. Cut. They will make it to Kabuto's location. Sasuke will ask Kabuto a big question. If he kills him, will that stop the reanimation jutsu? Kabuto will say that this wouldn't stop the reanimation jutsu at all. Kabuto himself has to willingly undo the reanimation jutsu. Sasuke doesn't care. At this point, if he kills Kabuto, then no new reanimations would appear, so a fight will ensue with all of them. Kabuto will use his Snake Sage mode to combat Sasuke and his group. Kabuto tells them that Genjutsu would be a waste of time since he can't see. Sasuke smirks and plays along. Sasuke would be defending his attacks and would eventually pin his snake tail down to the ground with his sword, long enough for Fu to trap him inside the web prison with Ray. This allowed Ray to strike him with a multitude of blows. And this would weaken Kabuto's chakra. I mean, since she's basically blocking a lot of his chakra points, if not all of them at this point. And dramatically around this time, Tayuya will be ready to cast her genjutsu, which will work since it will be sound genjutsu. And Kabuto in this state isn't resistant to sound genjutsu. Kabuto wouldn't be able to do anything at this point, so Sasuke will finish him off, slicing him in half with his Susanoo sword. Eventually, Madara's appearance would happen. Itachi would have been with the Kage at the time, making the battle strategies with him, and he would go along with the Kages, being teleported to Madara's location to stop him. Madara would be intrigued by Itachi, and tells the 5 Kage that he isn't interested in fighting them. He wants to go against Itachi. Itachi will activate his manga kill and the fight will begin. Madara will start off by using wood style before his emerges to smother Itachi with trees, but Itachi will use his Susanoo and survive this barrage. When the smoke clears, Itachi will use his Amaterasu on Madara, which actually lands. Madara will deal with this by removing his shirt before the flames will spread to his actual body, which I think he does do this in canon, and this is kind of a whack way of dealing with Amaterasu. Madara will fire a giant fireball at Itachi, and when the fire ceases, he sees Itachi still standing there, unfazed. Itachi will disappear into crows, and Itachi will appear behind Madara and try to stab him with a sword, but Madara dodges, and they get into a brief taijutsu bout, with none of them being able to get the best of each other, dodging each and every one of each other's blows. Eventually, Madara lets up on his attacks and activates his legged Susanoo. Itachi would activate his as well, and they would both shoot Yasuke and Magatama beads at each other, canceling one another's attacks out. It would be a clash of Susanoo swords. Each time their swords would clash, thick waves of air would just be blown everywhere, or just shock waves of air. Everyone on the battlefield can feel their power. Eventually, Madara has had enough fun with clashing their Susanoos in their baby forms. Madara activates his perfect Susanoo, which dwarfs Itachi's legged Susanoo. Like regular legged Susanoo, it just dwarfs it. He tells Itachi if he can handle this. Itachi will proceed to activate his perfect Susanoo as well, and takes on his challenge, and takes advantage of the fact that he has a Tosca blade, so he's going to use it. Itachi decides that it will be one blow that decides the fate of this battle. This is when the battle gets catastrophic. Their swords clash. The swords will clash, and this will cause earthquakes to happen. The very ground is breaking apart and shaking. The 5 Kage are watching this as they view Madara and Itachi being in a class of their own. This magnitude of power is nothing like they have ever seen before. At a certain point, Itachi sees no point in clashing with Madara since he has an infinite amount of chakra. Eventually, Itachi will find an opening and hit Madara with a Tosca blade straight into his Susanoo head, sealing Madara. Now, if you're wondering how this happened, this would have happened because Itachi used Itachi used the genjutsu on Madara, making him believe that he aimed his sword at the bottom, when really Itachi was doing or performing a frontal attack. So you didn't understand what I said. Basically, Itachi made Madara believe that he was aiming his sword or starting his attack with his sword from below, but really Itachi was really doing a straight on frontal attack. And Itachi is very lucky that Madara didn't know he was under a genjutsu, and because he wasn't more cautious and was too worried about clashing swords with Itachi, this gave Itachi the opportunity to catch him off guard, since Madara was worrying about the fight too much. The thrill of the fight. The thrill of the fight. Thrill. The rest of the animations will be dealt with. The rest of the reanimations will be dealt with. And while this is happening, Naruto and B would have caught up with to Sasuke's group, and they all decide to take on the Masked Man together. Right, this is the end of part 11. Part 12 will be coming like right after part 11. And after this, I plan on doing another Sasuke what if. Then right after that Sasuke what if, I'm going to do a Naruto what if. So, without further ado, say goodbye.